Welcome, you are here. Now you are in front of the speaking book. Nice to meet you. Please, allow me to speak about who were the President of the United States. You don't need to read the book. I am going to read the book. And you enjoy your listening. Because I'm the speaking book. Number 1. Since the office was established in 1789, the first President, George Washington, was an American political leader, military general, statesman, and founding father who served as the first President of the United States from 1789 to 1797. Previously, he led Patriot forces to victory in the nation's war for independence. He presided at the Constitutional Convention of 1787, which established the U.S. Constitution and a federal government. Washington has been called the father of his country for his manifold leadership in the formative days of the new nation. Number 2. President. John Adams was an American statesman, attorney, diplomat, writer, and founding father who served as the second President of the United States, from 1797 to 1801. Before his presidency, he was a leader of the American Revolution that achieved independence from Great Britain, and he served as the first Vice President of the United States. Number 3. President. Thomas Jefferson was an American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, architect, philosopher, and founding father who served as the third President of the United States from 1801 to 1809. He had previously served as the second Vice President of the United States between 1797 and 1801. Number 4. President. James Madison, Jr. was an American statesman, diplomat, expansionist, philosopher and founding father who served as the fourth President of the United States from 1809 to 1817. Number 5. President. James Monroe was an American statesman, slaveholder, plantation owner, lawyer, diplomat and founding father who served as the fifth President of the United States from 1817 to 1825. A member of the Democratic-Republican Party, Monroe was the last president of the Virginia dynasty. His presidency coincided with the era of good feelings. Number 6. President. John Quincy Adams was an American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, and diarist who served as the sixth President of the United States, from 1825 to 1829. He previously served as the eighth United States Secretary of State from 1817 to 1825. Number 7. President. Andrew Jackson was an American soldier and statesman who served as the seventh President of the United States from 1829 to 1837. Before being elected to the presidency, Jackson gained fame as a general in the United States Army and served in both houses of the U.S. Congress. Number 8. President. Martin Van Buren was an American statesman who served as the eighth President of the United States from 1837 to 1841. A founder of the Democratic Party, he had previously served as the ninth Governor of New York, the 10th United States Secretary of State, and the 8th Vice President of the United States. Number 9. President. William Henry Harrison was an American military officer and politician who served as the ninth President of the United States in 1841. He died of typhoid, pneumonia or paratyphoid fever 31 days into his term, becoming the first president to die in office. Number 10. President. John Tyler was the 10th President of the United States from 1841 to 1845. After briefly serving as the 10th Vice President in 1841, he was elected Vice President on the 1840 Whig ticket with President William Henry Harrison. Number 11. President. James Knox Polk was the 11th President of the United States, serving from 1845 to 1849. He previously was Speaker of the House of Representatives, 1835 to 1839, and Governor of Tennessee, 1839 to 1841. A protege of Andrew Jackson, he was a member of the Democratic Party and an advocate of Jacksonian democracy. Number 12. President. Zachary Taylor was the 12th President of the United States, serving from March 1849 until his death in July 1850. Taylor previously was a career officer in the United States Army, rose to the rank of Major General and became a national hero as a result of his victories in the Mexican-American War. Number 13. President. Millard Fillmore was the 13th President of the United States, 1850 to 1853, the last to be a member of the Whig Party while in the White House. A former U.S. representative from New York, Fillmore was elected the nation's 12th vice president in 1848, and succeeded to the presidency in July 1850 upon the death of President Zachary Taylor. Number 14. President. Franklin Pierce was the 14th President of the United States, 1853 to 1857, a Northern Democrat who saw the abolitionist movement as a fundamental threat to the unity of the nation. He alienated anti-slavery groups by supporting and signing the Kansas-Nebraska Act and enforcing the Fugitive Slave Act. Number 15. President. James Buchanan Jr. was an American lawyer and politician who served as the 15th President of the United States, 1857 to 1861. He previously served as Secretary of State, 1845 to 1849, and represented Pennsylvania in both houses of the U.S. Congress. Number 16. President. Abraham Lincoln was an American statesman and lawyer who served as the 16th President of the United States, 1861 to 1865. Lincoln led the nation through its greatest moral, constitutional, and political crisis in the American Civil War. He preserved the Union, abolished slavery. Number 17. President. Andrew Johnson was the 17th President of the United States, serving from 1865 to 1869. He assumed the presidency as he was vice president at the time of the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Johnson was a Democrat who ran with Lincoln on the National Union ticket, coming to office as the Civil War concluded. Number 18. President. Ulysses S. Grant was an American soldier and politician who served as the 18th President of the United States from 1869 to 1877. Before his presidency, Grant led the Union Army as commanding general of the United States Army in winning the American Civil War. Number 19. President. Rutherford Burchard Hayes was the 19th President of the United States from 1877 to 1881, after serving in the U.S. House of Representatives and as Governor of Ohio. A lawyer and staunch abolitionist, he had defended refugee slaves in court proceedings during the antebellum years. Number 20. President. James Abram Garfield was the 20th President of the United States, serving from March 4, 1881, until his death by assassination 6.5 months later. He is the only sitting member of the United States House of Representatives to be elected to the presidency. Number 21. President. Chester Alan Arthur was an American attorney and politician who served as the 21st President of the United States from 1881 to 1885. Previously the 20th Vice President, he succeeded to the presidency upon the death of President James A. Garfield in September 1881, 2 months after Garfield was shot by an assassin. Number 22. President. Stephen Grover Cleveland was an American politician and lawyer who was the 22nd and 24th President of the United States, the only president in American history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms in office. He won the popular vote for 3 presidential elections, in 1884, 1888, and 1892, and was one of 2 Democrats to be elected president during the era of Republican political domination dating from 1861 to 1933. Number 23. President. Benjamin Harrison was an American politician and lawyer who served as the 23rd President of the United States from 1889 to 1893. He was a grandson of the 9th President, William Henry Harrison, creating the only grandfather-grandson duo to have held the office. He was also a great-grandson of Benjamin Harrison V., a founding father who signed the United States Declaration of Independence. Number 24. President. Stephen Grover Cleveland was an American politician and lawyer who was the 22nd and 24th President of the United States, the only president in American history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms in office. He won the popular vote for 3 presidential elections, in 1884, 1888, and 1892, and was one of 2 Democrats to be elected president during the era of Republican political domination dating from 1861 to 1933. Number 25. President. William McKinley was the 25th President of the United States from 1897, until his assassination in 1901. During his presidency, McKinley led the nation to victory in the Spanish-American War, raised protective tariffs to promote American industry and kept the nation on the gold standard in a rejection of free silver. Number 26. President. Theodore Roosevelt Jr., often referred to as Teddy Roosevelt or his initials T.R., was an American statesman, politician, conservationist, naturalist, and writer who served as the 26th President of the United States from 1901 to 1909. He served as the 25th Vice President from March to September 1901 and as the 33rd Governor of New York from 1899 to 1900. Number 27. President. William Howard Taft was the 27th President of the United States, 1909 to 1913, and the 10th Chief Justice of the United States, 1921 to 1930, the only person to have held both offices. Taft was elected president in 1908, the chosen successor of Theodore Roosevelt, but was defeated for re-election by Woodrow Wilson in 1912 after Roosevelt split the Republican vote by running as a third-party candidate. Number 28. President. Thomas Woodrow Wilson was an American politician and academic who served as the 28th President of the United States from 1913 to 1921. A member of the Democratic Party, Wilson served as the president of Princeton University and as the 34th Governor of New Jersey before winning the 1912 presidential election. Number 29. President. Warren Gamaliel Harding was the 29th President of the United States from 1921 until his death in 1923. A member of the Republican Party, he was one of the most popular U.S. presidents to that point. After his death, a number of scandals, including Teapot Dome, came to light, as did his extramarital affair with Nan Britton, each eroded his popular regard. Number 30. President. Calvin Coolidge was an American politician and lawyer who served as the 38th President of the United States from 1923 to 1929. A Republican lawyer from New England, born in Vermont, Coolidge worked his way up the ladder of Massachusetts state politics, eventually becoming governor of Massachusetts. Number 31. President. Herbert Clark Hoover was an American engineer, businessman, and politician who served as the 31st President of the United States from 1929 to 1933. A member of the Republican Party, he held office during the onset of the Great Depression. Before serving as president, Hoover led the Commission for Relief in Belgium, served as the director of the U.S. Food Administration, and served as the 3rd U.S. Secretary of Commerce. Number 32. President. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, often referred to by his initials FDR, was an American politician who served as the 32nd President of the United States from 1933 until his death in 1945. A member of the Democratic Party, he won a record 4 presidential elections and became a central figure in world events during the first half of the 20th century. Number 33. President. Harry S. Truman was the 33rd President of the United States from 1945 to 1953, succeeding upon the death of Franklin D. Roosevelt after serving as Vice President. He implemented the Marshall Plan to rebuild the economy of Western Europe, and established the Truman Doctrine and NATO. Number 34. President. Dwight David Eisenhower, GCB, OM was an American Army general who served as the 34th President of the United States from 1953 to 1961. During World War II, he became a 5-star general in the Army and served as Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe. Number 35. President. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, often referred to by his initials JFK or by his nickname Jack, was an American politician who served as the 35th President of the United States from January 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. Kennedy served at the height of the Cold War, and the majority of his work as president concerned relations with the Soviet Union and Cuba. Number 36. President. Lyndon Baines Johnson, often referred to by his initials LBJ, was an American politician who served as the 36th President of the United States from 1963 to 1969, and previously as 37th Vice President from 1961 to 1963. He assumed the presidency following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Number 37. President. Richard Milhous Nixon was the 37th President of the United States, serving from 1969 until 1974. A member of the Republican Party, Nixon previously served as the 36th Vice President from 1953 to 1961, having risen to national prominence as a representative and senator from California. Number 38. President. Gerald Rudolph Ford Jr. was an American politician who served as the 38th President of the United States from August 1974 to January 1977. Before his accession to the presidency, Ford served as the 40th Vice President of the United States from December 1973 to August 1974. Ford is the only person to have served as both Vice President and President without being elected to either office by the Electoral College. Number 39. President. James Earl Carter Jr. is an American politician, philanthropist, and former farmer who served as the 39th President of the United States from 1977 to 1981. A member of the Democratic Party, he previously served as a Georgia state senator from 1963 to 1967 and as the 76th governor of Georgia from 1971 to 1975. Number 40. President. Ronald Wilson Reagan was an American politician who served as the 40th President of the United States from 1981 to 1989 and became a highly influential voice of modern conservatism. Prior to his presidency, he was a Hollywood actor and union leader before serving as the 33rd Governor of California from 1967 to 1975. Number 41. President. George Herbert Walker Bush was an American politician and businessman who served as the 41st President of the United States from 1989 to 1993. A member of the Republican Party, Bush also served in the U.S. House of Representatives, as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, as Director of Central Intelligence, and as the 43rd Vice President. Number 42. President. William Jefferson Clinton is an American lawyer and politician who served as the 42nd President of the United States from 1993 to 2001. Prior to his presidency, he served as Governor of Arkansas and as Attorney General of Arkansas, 1977 to 1979. A member of the Democratic Party, Clinton was known as a New Democrat, and many of his policies reflected a centrist third-way political philosophy. Number 43. President. George Walker Bush is an American politician and businessman who served as the 43rd President of the United States from 2001 to 2009. A member of the Republican Party, he had previously served as the 46th Governor of Texas from 1995 to 2000. Born into the Bush family, his father, George H. W. Bush, served as the 41st President of the United States from 1989 to 1993. Number 44. President. Barack Hussein Obama II is an American politician and attorney who served as the 44th President of the United States from 2009 to 2017. A member of the Democratic Party, Barack Obama was the first African American President of the United States. He previously served as a U.S. Senator from Illinois from 2005 to 2008 and an Illinois State Senator from 1997 to 2004. Number 45. President. Donald John Trump is the 45th and current President of the United States. Before entering politics, he was a businessman and television personality. Document from Wikipedia. I dreamed about the book, Can Speak With Us. So I tried to create the book able to speak in the human language. On a future day. For all people in the world. Who like reading books. If you like speaking book, please subscribe to our channel and offer like, In case you don't like my video, just click dislike. Or you do have any questions, leave your comment in the comment box below. Thanks for watching.